I find this kind of weird, right? So why is the Nintendo Switch 2 console that comes with Mario Kart World $500, but then the Switch 2 console that does not, it's $450. But then if you want Mario Kart World by itself, it's $80. Nintendo's not known to be giving you discounts. You know what I'm saying? Like the Switch 2 console with Mario Kart World is $30 cheaper. Yeah, it's a digital version of the game, but they've never cared about that. You don't get discounts for digital. This is strange to me, but that's not the point. The point is like, holy crap, $80 games all of a sudden? Where the hell did this come from? I did not touch on this when I did my Switch 2 videos the other day because I did not know that the prices were $80 at that time. They didn't say that in the direct, so I didn't know. I didn't know. But yes, I do think this is freaking nuts. How do they justify it? I don't think they care to justify it. They just know people are going to pay it. And I've seen a lot of talks about this. This is a very, very hot topic right now. And I've been seeing both sides of it. People like justifying it, and then people who are like against it, like on the like pretty much going to boycott Nintendo. And then kind of people in the middle, just like, what can you do, right? What can you do? In reality, what can you do? I mean, there's plenty of things you could do. Just you can't afford it, you don't buy it, or you budget and you're like, okay, I really do want to Switch to, so I'm going to buy it, and then I'm not going to go crazy. I'll just buy a game here and there. I'm not going to buy every single game that comes out. I got to ease off a bit, especially with these $80 first party games, because it is freaking nuts, dude. But how do you justify these $80 games? I've been seeing the train of thought is people going back to like the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s, like the mid 90s, with stuff like this, pulling up these old ads with these $60 games, $70, $80 games. Prices were a little bit all over the place back then. But the one thing I see people bringing up is like, hey, inflation, right? This Super Mario 64 is $60 back then. You know, if you equate for inflation, that's like equal to like $120, $130 now. But that's not the full picture. One is not everybody, but a lot of the people I do see arguing that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, you weren't buying these freaking games. It was like your parents were buying them for you. You know what I mean? Or your grandparents. The other thing too is like we rented a lot of games, especially the NES and Super Nintendo era and into the Nintendo 64 era. But yeah, there were games that were crazy expensive. I remember Final Fantasy 3 Square Soft games. They were expensive games back then. They were one of the bigger ones because it was all over the place, dude. I remember Final Fantasy 3 I bought with my own money back then. When that came out, I don't remember exactly what the game cost, but I bought the game with the strategy guide, and it was nearly $100 for that bundle. I bought it, I don't remember, Electronics Boutique or something like that. It was like almost $100. Like, holy crap, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy. But the problem with looking at these things with inflation, like, yeah, you know, it's $120 now. So these prices that we got now, the games aren't $120 now. So you're lucky that they're $70, $80. Boo you, man. Boo you. I think, you know, if they're going to justify anything, if you're going to justify anything, you could try to justify things by saying, well, game development costs are more expensive now. That could be something, but just being like inflation, I don't buy that crap. Get out of here with that shit. Because first off, inflation in my eyes, screw that. Because like as an example, going back like 1996, I was born on the East Coast, Atlantic City, New Jersey, but I moved to California in the late 80s, and I've lived in California for ever since then. But like in 96, I know for a fact, minimum wage was like $4.75. Now minimum wage in California is like $16.50. I know federal minimum wage is different, but that like, okay, yeah, that's like 4 times the amount now, over almost like 30 years, right? The issue with inflation is that wages, they've not kept pace with inflation. So our purchasing power has like decreased. That's just the biggest problem that we have. So every time I hear this thing about like, well, Super Mario 64 be $120 now, so you're lucky you're not paying $120. You're lucky you're paying $70. You're lucky you're paying $80. Screw you, dude. Wages have not kept up with inflation. So, like, I looked at an apartment that I rented back in 2004, 2005. That was like one of the cheapest apartments in the ghetto. That, like, it was bad. It was a bad area at the time. It was $600 a month. Now, these motherfuckers are charging over $2,000. That's crazy, dude. Our dollars, our purchasing power, dollars are that just does it's not the same. Back then in the 90s, I could buy a famous star with cheese at Carl's Jr. for like $1, 100%. Now, I just looked it up, $7. Makes no damn sense, dude. Minimum wage back then, if you were making it, you could buy 4 to 5 burgers. Now, you could buy 2. But it just doesn't equate to the same. So while games back then were expensive compared to what minimum wage was, and maybe like I didn't have as many games back then, but I feel like you could buy groceries, you could eat out, you could, whatever. Now it's like games feel cheaper in a sense, but you can't afford anything else. I don't know, dude. Like, it's just the dollars, man, the dollars. So the inflation thing, I don't buy it. I'm tired of hearing the inflation thing now. It's annoying hearing the thing about inflation. Like, we could rent games back then. It's different, man. It's different. But people are going to be like, well, vote with your dollars. I don't think that's going to work. Not with the Switch, not with Nintendo. You can vote with your dollars if you want, but you're not going to get enough people to vote with their dollars to make any difference. Nintendo doesn't give a crap, is the harsh reality. So my stance with this is like, you don't have to like it, but people are still going to buy these games, man. People are going to, like, if they can't afford a $500 Nintendo Switch 2 and they want it, they will sell their baby for it. Like, that's just what's going to happen. Like, people are going to buy these things. It's not that it doesn't matter. An $80 game, just won't eat for the week. I just won't pay my electric bill for the month. I'll put it off. That's what people will do. These games will still sell. Nintendo's not going to be like, oh my God, they don't want to buy Kirby, a re-release of a Switch 1 game that we sold for $60. They're not going to want to buy it for $80 this time. What? Oh, they didn't buy it. Oh, we can't sell games for $80 anymore. Nintendo's not going to do that. They're just not. They're not going to be like, oh, we can't do this. They're going to keep selling games for $80. That's just what's going to happen. They could, like, say they release, like, let's say, just as an example, a new Star Fox. Say they take a chance. New Star Fox, they put it out at $80. Nobody buys it. It doesn't do well. Then they just be like, well, guess nobody wanted Star Fox, so we're not going to make that game anymore. And that's what will happen with Mario Kart World. And it's not going to happen because people are going to buy it. People are going to buy the bundle that's $30 cheaper than buying the game. It's just going to happen. But if nobody bought the bundle at all, nobody bought the cartridge at all, then what would happen is Nintendo would assume, they wouldn't think that people couldn't afford it, or people didn't, like, they were like, oh, the price is too much. They wouldn't think that. They would just think, well, people didn't want Mario Kart, so they're not interested in Mario Kart anymore, so we're not going to make Mario Kart anymore. That's what they would do. That's it. They're not going to change the prices, dude. This is just crazy, dude. So I don't, like, anybody who's like justifying it, I don't get it. We don't have to like it. But there's no, like, why justify it in any which way? If somebody's like, man, this shit's crazy, it's too much. Yeah, it's too much. It's just, it is. It's crazy. How all of a sudden do you pull these numbers out your ass? $80. I mean, people are going to buy them, and that's fine, whatever. But I've been seeing like on social media and stuff, just people ranting and going on both sides though, and it's like it is what it is. But the people who are like really Nintendo fanboying out, and I love Nintendo, man, but it's just like you have to be realistic, man. Times are tough, dude. People want to enjoy things. You know, Nintendo's gonna sell 5 billion copies of this damn game, and they would make a killing selling it even at $50. They being greedy bastards, dude. I don't care what's going on in the world. They could sell the game for a lot cheaper and make a killing. But they want to make an even bigger killing. That's all it is. It's just getting greedier and greedier, man. Like, there's no reason a Switch 2 edition of any of these Switch 1 games should be more than what the Switch 1 game was. Makes no sense. I don't care with a little extra added content or a freaking phone app. I don't care. That's stupid. And then this nonsense 11 gigabyte game key card. The hell out of here, Square Enix, you cheap bastard. Yeah, I know it's a $40 game, Bravely Default. 11 gigabytes, you cheap mother... That game key card, it's just a blank cartridge. That's a whole other rant. It's a blank cartridge. Granted, it's better than a code in a box because you could sell it, you could trade it. It's still valuable in a sense, but it's just a code. It's a key card. It's essentially a code on the thing, but it's transferable. You know what I mean? That gives you access to download the game because the company who fucking put it out was too cheap to pay Nintendo for the capacity card to put that 11 gigabyte game on it. Cheap bastards. Cheap bastards. What is it? Street Fighter 6, 50 gigabytes. They don't want to buy the card for it. Cyberpunk 2077, 64 gigabytes. Gonna be physical on the cartridge. No download required. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.